City Skylines 1 came out over 9 years ago. Since its release, a ton of mods appeared on Steam Workshop. On this channel, I've covered only a tiny fraction of them, focusing on must-have mods or mods that add something, extra to the game. Today I'm showing you another 10 mods that I've tested throughout the years, and I'm hoping they will enhance your gameplay as much as they did mine. Let's start with Metro Overhaul mod. Metro Overhaul mod is a helpful tool that adds much more realism to your metro network. It has plenty of new functions and visual changes, like the ability to choose the look of the metro tracks and render tunnels instead of voids as deep as my soul. It also comes with a set of ground or elevated metro stations instead of those Minecrafty 1 square round holes.
Wow!
I haven't yet played with this function, but it allows you to mix trains and metros at one station for easy connections for your sims. A huge feature that adds realism is the actual metro depot that forces you to connect your line to it so it can spawn the vehicles, just like in the case of the buses or trams. Bonus points for adding textures to underground stations and pillar and fence selection. I think it looks so nice. If you are interested, make sure to check out the required items on Steam's mod page in order for it to work properly. Transfer Controller and Vehicle Selector. Transfer Controller allows you to handle service vehicles better, limit their spawning to specific districts, which can be really helpful, especially with services like garbage trucks or hearses, which tend to wander kilometers outside the initial service building. It allows you to choose specific vehicle type to spawn from the building. It's especially helpful if you use custom vehicle assets from Steam or want to give your city a particular vibe, for example Asian, and want to have control over which types of vehicle will spawn. I use Improved Public Transport as my mod of choice for controlling public transport, and I have not seen any compatibility issues. I use it for individual transport lines, while I use Transfer Controller for services buildings. There are a few other mods dedicated to vehicle selection, so feel free to browse around and choose your favorite one. This is mine, and it's a cool feature that can add realism and particular theme to your city. Okay, I've mentioned multiple ways of making public transport better, but how about the cars? The Real Gas Station mod adds a really cool feature to your game, which, as the name suggests, allows you to have functional sort of gas stations in your city. There's a really good Sam Burst tutorial on how to use it correctly, how to set it up. I will link it in the top right corner because he explained it all and there is no point in me showing you the same stuff. So, in shortcut, it adds the ability to use the oil you produce or import to your city as a petrol. Trucks will transport this oil/fuel to the gas stations, and non-electric cars, you see how detailed it is, and occasional trucks will stop at gas station to fill their tanks. The creator links one, a bit ugly, functioning gas station you can see here, but you can find other on Steam Workshop that work as well. I'm not sure how functional it is, whether the cars start to become dependent on the fuel. I think not, but it's also not like 100% visual thing only, because you can see the cars use the petroleum, and it's interesting feature. Unfortunately, it's an older mod, and while it works for me, be cautious when using it. Watch the Sunburst tutorial, which I mentioned. Also, be sure to check out his recommended gas station collection. And yeah. Regarding realism, have you ever seen 10 cargo trains in a row clogging train tracks in your city? Well, me neither. The Optimized Outside Connections mod helps with two of the most annoying means of transportations in your city. once your city gets bigger, you will notice this immediately. So empty ships and cargo or passenger trains. Oh, and also planes, but they are usually less problematic. This mod reduces the number of those vehicles and affects cargo trains in your city if you have a few cargo train stations connected and they constantly travel from one to the other. Additionally, it helps with dummy traffic, meaning means of transportation that use your existing network to just go from one outside place to another outside place. For example, cars traveling through one city exit to another without ever entering your city. Regarding the trains, if this does not help, you can also use the Rebalance Industries mod. I mentioned it in my other mod related video, which also affects cargo trains and planes. Regarding passenger trains, make sure to only leave the Allow Intercity Trains option on big main stations in the city that have multiple tracks, and never leave it on tiny suburban network train stations because they will block it immediately. Actually, the best thing you can do early in your game is to build separate cargo tracks and set it up so cargo trains will only use dedicated tracks. You can do it with Traffic Manager mod, and this way they won't interfere with your passenger network. It helps a lot, so a tiny tip for you. Okay, so let's say you thought, okay, Ola, from now on I'm going to build parallel train tracks for my cargo trains. Yay, no traffic. But how do you make it look nice? Parallel Road Tool is a helpful mod that displays a little box in which you choose your network type. Can be tracks, can be road, can be anything. It lets you set the distance spread between two roads and helps you draw even networks. You can toggle snapping to existing roads or toggle reverse, meaning so the highways can actually go in both directions. It also works on quays, pavement, or you can mix road with tracks, etc. It adds visual guidelines before you actually place something, although remember, undo it is your best building mod ever. You need it. If you mess up, you need it. You can also add new parallel roads to existing networks, so you can start upgrading your cargo tracks now. Well, maybe not now. Stay till the end because enough about transportation, let's change the topic. I've mentioned you before that I swear by this performance guide you can find on Steam, which saved me basically a few $100 worth of PC parts that I wanted my PC to upgrade with in order to save my unplayable cities and make the game run better. So if you are struggling with lag, check it out. Seriously, it helps a lot. And in this guide there is a mention of FPS Booster mod. There is also a mini FPS booster that can be tempting to use, but the full FPS booster has all the patches from it included, so one is enough. What does it do? Each day the game updates over 10,000 UI components, most of which don't need updating. FPS Booster prevents the useless updates, which reduces CPU strain and makes the game run faster. To achieve this, I renamed the these are the technical details, but let's just say it makes the game run better. I've tested on my average potato PC, and this is a busy intersection in Los Coco with and without booster. A few FPS saved, so why not? And by the way, if you haven't seen the cinematic video of finished Los Coco City, check it out later because it's stunning, okay? Okay. Hide it! Apart from playing with your FPS, another way to speed the game up slightly is to use Hide It mod. Hide It, as the name suggests, gives you a long list of things that you can, well, hide with one click. Ugly bios from your ferry line, small probes that slow down your game, or ugly billboards while your city is into making common space ugly ideology. Hide It is an answer. My favorite options include hiding seagulls, random street decorations, sightseeing bus stops, effects such as polluted area, for example, or grass fertility, ground color. It can overlap with some mods that are affecting visibility of the props, like Bob, for example, which by the way is also a cool mod that allows you to modify props in game. So just be mindful. I've shown you my favorite Steam maps in other video, and I've mentioned that some maps go big with trees, and it's actually why they look nice. So you can go big too, but there are a few limits in game, like node limit, road limit, building limit. I've hit them all in the past, and the tree limit is one of them. Unlimited trees is a simple mod that allows you to basically ignore this limit. Just remember that hiding stop signs and seagulls with the Hide It mod is counterintuitive to enabling over 2 million trees on one map, so be mindful of how you use this tool and what you want to achieve, performance-wise. I only mentioned it as a little tip if you wonder why your map looks so empty, and it's also a little breather before the last of today's mods. Since the game came out so many years ago, not all mods are always up to date. Sometimes you can see comments of people begging for updates, but I found that you can somehow still make some of the older mods work with the help of course, another mod. This is my number one error fixing mod, because not only does it allow you to go in depth on what actually is broken, and it also exposes mods that did not generate any errors but might not work, might not be compatible, and then you can deal with it. Or you can, like me, ignore your problems because of the simple hide error messages button. Am I risking my save? Probably yeah. Do I care? Probably not, because sometimes a stupid little asset can generate constant error messages and you don't feel like dealing with it right now, and you just use the hide it option. And I just wish we had this mod in real life, to be honest. That's all for today, guys. Let me know if you use any of the mods and if they were helpful to you. As always, I'm waiting for your thoughts and suggestions in the comment sections. More content is sure to come out, so consider subscribing if you like all things City Skylines 1 and hopefully City Skylines 2 in the future. I hope you're doing okay, and bye! Oh, and these videos might be cool to check out. The description is handy too. I put a lot of what I think is important information there, so check it out. Just saying. Bye!